So one of the coolest features of Quizstorm is of course interactivity, and in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make sure that's set up and all working properly. We've got three devices in front of us on the table. On the far left is the Enjoytech device, which is actually simply plug and play, so we'll see more of that in the setup screen. And we have two smart devices, one running iOS, an Apple device, and the other running Android. Now, you don't need to be online to use Quizstorm, but you do need to be connected to the router that is running the Quizstorm server. And as you can see from the screens on those devices, they can't find the Quizstorm server, and that's because we haven't started it yet. But they are on the correct network, and that is something we recommend, is that you have a dedicated network for running the Quizstorm server, just so there's no confusion as to which network people should be on. So when you did your installation of Quizstorm, you will have seen that it would have put two icons on your desktop, one for the Quizstorm engine and the other for the Quizstorm server. We always recommend running the Quizstorm server first. So I'm going to start up the Quizstorm server, and as you'll see very quickly, both of these devices have found the Quizstorm network once the Quizstorm server is found, as long as they're on the same network. If we take a look inside the Quizstorm server, you don't really need to concern yourself too much with all the data that's appearing on the right hand side. The key thing is that the server status has got a green light and the broadcast status has got a green light. So going back to the smart devices, as you'll see, fairly straightforward, 6 buttons, A, B, C, D, E and F. There's a number in the middle, and at the top you'll see there's a place where you can change your name if you tap on the little pencil icon. In this case, we've got two people sort of called Bert and Bertie, but there is a unique number always in the middle, so it doesn't matter if people have got the same name. But let's go in, let's change the name. We just tap on the name there, go onto our keypad, and then we can type in a new name. Let's, not Bib, let's type in Bob for the sake of this example. And we just hit confirm on there, and now your name is changed, and then you actually can change your name at any time during the show, and you'll see on the Quizstorm server there that actually on the right hand side it's recognized that the nickname has changed to Bob on that other device. Nice little feature. While we're in the Quizstorm server, there is one more thing that I'd like to show you that's quite important if you want to use the Quizstorm master controller, which is available for free on iOS and Android. If you're going to use that, you'll need to go into admin credentials and set up a username and a password. When you boot up the Quizstorm master controller and connect to the network, it is going to ask you for a username and password, and that is one that you've set in the Quizstorm server yourself. That's everything we need to look at in the Quizstorm server. Suffice to say, it does need to be running while you're running the show, so you can just minimize it and put it in the background. And then we can boot up the Quizstorm engine and take a look at a couple of features in there relating to connectivity and your keypads. So here we are in the setup screen of the Quizstorm engine, and I want to draw your attention to the green lights that we can see at the bottom here. These relate to Enjoytech and the Quizstorm server, which you can use in conjunction with each other, or you can use separately. It's entirely up to you. But this is a good sign. We've got green lights, which means they're both connected and working. So if we click on the Enjoytech options now, it's in here that you can change the device type if you need to. It also shows the status and just reminds you, depending which system you're using, the maximum number of devices that you can use. And I'm pressing a few of the Enjoytech devices now, and you can see the ID, a unique number, and the letter H, which determines that it's a handset as opposed to the app. So this is a nice little confirmation that those are working, and it's always good practice to check your devices before a show starts. If you press any button on the Enjoytech, you'll see a red light, then a green light. That tells you that the data has been sent to the Enjoytech device. Let's now go and look at the Quizstorm server options, and On the left hand side here, you can see it's waiting for keypad. So if you press any button on any of the keypads, you'll then see that the ID is confirmed on the left hand side there. On the right hand side where it says command session reset, this relates to commands coming in from the master controller. So you can check that out. More details of that in a separate video on the master controller. So the last thing I want to show you in this tutorial relating to connectivity and the keypads is in the holding screen. This is before we've started the show with the big intro. Maybe you've got people coming in late and they want to check that they're connected and everything's working, and you don't really want to go back into the setup to do that. So if anybody in the holding screen presses a button on their device, what will happen is on the screen you'll see a thumbs up with their name. This confirms they are connected. So as you see here, Bob and Bert, number 2 and number 1, we can see they're connected. And if you're using the Enjoytech system, it also works with Enjoytech. Press any button and you'll see it comes up, and you'll see player 18 there with the H to denote that they're using the Enjoytech handset. So that's all for this tutorial on connectivity. Please check out the other tutorials, and if you've got any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to the Quizstorm team. Happy quizzing!